Hello everyone and Namaste. Namaste is the way we greet everyone in India. And we hold our hands like this and say Namaste. India is a country that is right on the other side of the globe, and this is a country with ancient traditions, cultures coexist with modern technology. My name is Jayanti Raman, and I teach Indian classical dance here in Portland, Oregon, and I am originally from India. I came to this country almost 30 years ago, over 3 decades ago, and I have been living in Portland, Oregon since I moved to the United States. I wanted to talk and give an introduction about Indian classical dance, and Bharatanatyam is the name of this classical dance. Many of you who live in the more urban and suburban regions of the US must have seen, heard, and must know, even know people who are performing this art form in your schools, colleges, universities, among your friends, your family, friends, and circles around. So, my job is to give an introduction to a lot of people who have not seen this art form, who are not familiar with this art form, and what this is all about. So, classical dance in India is not Bollywood dancing. Some of you may think it is Bollywood, it is not. Classical dance is like classical ballet. If you have heard of the word Bollywood dancing, that is a dance that is seen in movies. Indian classical dance has many forms in India, and there are 8 classical dances. The form that I perform and I teach is called Bharatha Natyam. So, what does the word Bharata mean and what does the word Natyam mean? Bharatha, Bharata, Bharat, which is India. Bharata is Bharat, India, and Natyam is dance or dance theater, which basically means this is the dance of India. The name shows how popular this art form is not only in India but around the world. So, Bharatanatyam. The other meaning for this dance is Bharata Natyam. Bharatha. Bha stands for bhava or the expressive elements of dance. Ra is for raga, the melodic elements of dance, the music and the melody that goes with the dance. And tha is thala or the rhythmic component of the dance, that is the rhythm and the beats of the dance. So, a dance that encompasses emotional aspects, the expressive aspect of dance, the melodic and the music of dance, and the rhythmic and the pure dance component is known as Bharata Natyam, the dance that has all these elements in it. And of course, there's another meaning to it, which says Natyam, the dance, which has been codified or given the rules and the regulations of this particular art, the grammar and the technique of the art, is written by sage Bharatha. He was an author. Bharatha also means an actor. He was an author of this book called Natya Shastra, which we follow in Indian classical dance. All the classical dance forms in India follow this book. And this literary manuscript was supposed to be written thousands of years ago. And the author his name is Bharata. So the dance that follows the rules and regulations set by this sage Bharata, is known as Bharatanatyam. So you see there are 3 meanings for this one name, one dance form, Bharatanatyam. One is that it is the dance of India, and it is a dance that follows the rules and regulations and the grammar that has been set by and written by sage Bharata. And of course, bhava, raga, thala, the expressive, melodic, and the rhythmic component of dance that is showcased in this art form. The dance has been performed in courts, the king's courts, and the kings and the rulers were patrons of this art form, and also in the temples. Temple music and temple dancing was encouraged and patronized by the temples. So those 2 art forms kind of dwindled about 55 years ago with the British rule of India, and it was brought back to life later, much later, by people who took it upon themselves to bring this art form back to its glory. So Bharatanatyam had a huge revival. The lady who brought Indian dance and revived this Bharatanatyam back to its original glory. And her name is Rukmini Devi Arundel. I come from the school the institution which she started in South India, and which is where this art form has propagated from. And now I practice and I perform and I teach in US. So this particular dance that that you are all going to see today, it's called Navarasa Kalinga Nardana. And most of these words are in Sanskrit. Sanskrit is the language which is like Latin, a language that is not spoken anymore. It's an ancient language. So, Navarasa Kalinga Nardana. Navarasa means the 9 emotions. Nava means 9, and rasa means the emotions or the sentiments associated with it. Navarasa. Kalinga is the name of the snake. The snake gets to be very important here, and although he's the villain, and Kalinga or Kaliya. And Nardana means dancing. The other name for dance is Nardana. And why is it called, why did I name it Navarasa Kalinga Nardana? Kalinga Nardana is the dance on the snake. And who danced on the snake? It is Lord Krishna. Lord Krishna is portrayed in Indian dance holding a flute and playing the flute. The bamboo flute is what he plays. So in Navarasa Kalinga Nardana, the story is showcased where Krishna, actually defeats the snake and dances on its hood. This is a little child and he jumps on the snake and dances on its hood. And the snake finally says, enough, stop, enough. I'm not going to fight with you. I'm defeated. And and Krishna says, I forgive you, go away. So that's a story that you will be seeing, and there is a narrative in English that you will be able to follow through the storyline. In this particular production, I made it very different and unique by having only rhythm. You will only hear rhythm and very little of the melodic aspect of the instruments, because the dances are purely on a rhythmic scale. The percussionist has played the percussions, and we, as dancers, choreograph and we have performed over the percussion music. I also showcased solo. That means the solo dancer who becomes both Krishna, the child, as well as Kaliya, the snake, and dancing all aspects of it, as well as a group element where one person plays the snake and one person plays Krishna, and then there is a duel and a fight and everything that goes on with that. So I wanted to showcase both how the Indian dance is performed both as a solo as well as a group and theatrical performances. So those are the unique aspects of this production that you will be seeing today. Indian classical dance has many elements to it, many facets to it. It talks about the storytelling, the whole body is used for storytelling. It's a one way where we use our expressions. When we show the moon and we say, oh, she is as beautiful as the moon. The moonlight, and we say her eyes are sparkling like the stars, and the moonlight hits her face, and her face is as beautiful as the moon and the rays of the moon. And so when we tell that story, we say it beautifully in dance. And so, for example, there is a flower, and what happens when the bumblebee flies? The bee flies and lands on the flower, takes the honey and flies away. So these hand gestures are called as hasta mudras. Hasta means the hand. Mudras are the gestures. This is a specialized sign language that we use for storytelling. So if I have to talk about Cinderella, we will say this beautiful girl who is Cinderella, she's lovely. Her face is so beautiful. She meets the prince, and she meets the prince, and they live happily together. So that is how we would talk about, if it's Cinderella story. So we use our body, our entire body, from the eyes, the movements of the eyes, the neck, the shoulders, the arms, everything, to tell a story. So we become the characters in the story. We can either do the lion, we can do the little mouse, we can do the deer, we can do the king, we can do royalty, we can be the servant, we can be the maid who's very scared. So anyone, any character is portrayed by the dancer who becomes an actor. He or she becomes an actor and showcases the dance. So where does the rhythmic component come? There is rhythm and there is pure and abstract dancing. And we do have a lot of festivals, a lot of music, dances, and many languages that people speak in India, and it is very different. Just like when you travel through Europe, you will find, between France and Germany and Italy, you will find the language changes, the food changes, the clothing changes, everything changes. Here inside this one country, India, if you travel from one state to another, you will find that the language changes, the food, the clothing, the way the people's cultural, the everyday living habits, everything changes. Even the flowers and the way the flowers and fruits and everything is used or cooked, even art and architecture, dancing, the music changes, the dance changes. So everything changes as you traverse through the country. It's like, going through different countries within a country. And so that is one of the most glorious aspects of India, where there is so much diversity and so much cultural diversity and so much of arts. The Indian immigrant community here in Oregon is quite large, and not as large as in California, but it is quite large. And come together we all come together and celebrate many festivals in the US. And on that note, I want to conclude this small talk with all of you. And I thank you all. I welcome you all to this dance production, Navarasa Kalinga Nardana. My name again is Jayanti Raman. And on behalf of RASIKA, I would like to thank you all for allowing us to come into your schools and come into your lives to share a little bit of our Indian arts, culture, and heritage with you all. And we are open to questions and feedback. And we would like to thank the students and the teachers and everyone viewing this video. Namaste. Thank you.